So now we're off to get communion in Wheaton College. Saturday. We just pick it up outside of the church. So we're going to Church of the Resurrection to collect 2 wafers. This is the second week we've been able to partake of communion in this manner. Third?
Third.
Oh, you're right. This is the 3rd time. So this is still relatively recent development, but we're very grateful for it. Our church has chosen to do communion of one kind. So no wine, no juice, just the wafer. There's a long tradition here, though, of partaking of communion of one kind in times of crisis. In the early church, if someone could not attend church because they were elderly or sick or in prison, there were a few runners who were assigned to deliver a piece of the bread, Eucharistic bread, to them. And the runner had one job, which was, even if he could not deliver the morsel of bread, he had to make sure it was ingested. So he had to eat it himself if he could not deliver it. But there's also a sort of, the partaking of communion of one kind also falls short of the biblical portrayal, the biblical ideal of communion. In the Catholic Church, they partake of communion of one kind every week, right? It's just the wafer. And there's some theological credibility to that, right? I mean, we're not saying that there's a different divine presence in the wine than there is in the bread, and therefore you need both. No, it's the same presence. You're not getting anything more divine. You're not partaking of any additional divinity by adding wine to the bread. What that overlooks, though, what communion of one kind as a regular thing, as the standard way to partake, what that loses sight of is not the mystical reality underlying the Eucharistic mystery. What it's losing is the context in which, the biblical context of the Eucharist. It's a meal, right? It's a meal. It's partaken of and it's set within a community. And a meal involves both food and drink. You need both. So the full expression. So I wouldn't say the full reality of the Eucharist requires wine, but the full expression of the Eucharist requires wine. So at this time of isolation and social distancing, where we are denied the full expression of the Eucharist, just as we are denied the full expression of the church body. So the fact that we can partake it all, even if it's Eucharist of one kind, has a certain sadness and longing to it, but it's also nourishing at the same time. So.
Good morning, Church of the Resurrection. Good morning, Upper Midwest Diocese. Good morning to any friends and new friends that are joining us this glorious Easter Day morning. My name is Bishop Stuart Rock. I'm the Bishop of the Upper Midwest Diocese and of Church of the Resurrection. And it is an utter joy to welcome you this morning.
You are Chad. We're Mr. Rogers.
Check, check, check.
I don't think they realize their mics are hot.
It looks
Are we
like
gonna hear
Brett
it
preached
again?
57
I don't think
minutes.
Chad's gonna sing Beautiful
Not
Day
quite
again.
57 minutes, but the timer's still going.
Oh, you're on, man.
This is Chad Magnuson. He's the one who's being ordained today to the deaconate.
Yeah, we missed him, unfortunately, singing It's a Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood.
Yeah, he was singing Mr. Rogers' theme song.
And Steve Williamson was for sure improvising.
Oh yeah, he was. What was he doing? Scatting? Is that
Yes.
it? Like doo la bop bop a doo bop.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what he was doing too. Blessed be the
I
name.
just felt the need to record that, and
That's right.
so we can all let them know later
There-
that their mics are on.
They were singing "Blessed be the name," and he's like, and Father Matt's like, doo bop bop doo bop. Steve. That's right, but there's like 3 Steves.
Correct, there are 3.
There are 3 Steves.
There are 3.
Steve squared.
Cubed.
This is why I majored in history, so I didn't have to speak with math terms.
I majored in journalism, but I manage.
Well, you're just smarter than me, honey. I think they're done. I think someone caught on.
Oh, man.
That's a shame. Good service.